So, welcome both to lunch. I don't know what happened to our microphone because it was working perfectly. Quite a few announcements. The first announcement I have without a slide is Kansas changed its bathroom laws this last week, and it mandated that single bathrooms or bathrooms be service stalls and things needed to be able to be control for people coming in and out. So the library has made all of our bathrooms, upstairs and downstairs, considered family bathrooms, so that it's not male or female anymore, it's family bathrooms. So if you have family, fine. If you're male or female, you can use any bathroom you want. Just it's for everyone. Okay. So you'll have these have some temporary signs on them. So they'll have some to say that are on the wall. So you can get some painting done. But the upstairs are locked and they've been locked for a long time. You know, you go pick up the key, but both of them are that way, and you can use either one of those back. Okay. It just we found it easier to take the all down on that. All right. So you all know we're celebrating our 100th year anniversary. And so on Friday, we're having a gala event, and it starts at 7, but I mean, our doors open at 6:30. Tickets are $40, which includes something to drink, either alcohol or non-alcohol, a charcuterie board, and then also a really nice entertainer who's going to bring classical guitars, and we'll have some things. We'll do that night, celebrate. So you may want to come to that. Now, Saturday is our big event. It's for all families, anyone, whether you're a child, an adult, elderly, young, old, and we're just having all kinds of fun events and games, like things that you can participate in, an arcade bus for children, and indoor games for big games for kids to play, like pies, smashing things. There's a lot of stuff for kids to do. And unless I tell you, we have a special guest. So we wanted to do something big for our family. So I'm going to read this specific things. I can't tell you more. Okay. So we're bringing in a nationally recognized special guest who represents teamwork, state spirit, and a whole lot of fun. We can't share the name just yet, but let's just say if your household enjoys a little excitement during the football season, you'll want to be here between 12 and 2 on Saturday. There you go. Oh, we can tell you right now. You can come. So you can do all those fun things, and then at 12 you can be here. Okay? There you go. We'll serve you lunch. And we'll serve you lunch. We're having pizza pie. Because we're the pioneer of the world.
And it's
Okay, now before that event, we have every 6th bingo night, which is March 5th, for all ages, right? And the children can come by themselves, with parents, with grandparents, with somebody, and then they play bingo, and their prizes are food. So when they win a bingo, they get to go choose what they want. So there's grand prizes and all kinds. We did it last night, and that was really, really fun. So it'll be downstairs. It starts at 5:30. Okay. And then next, during spring break, Chelsea, our children and youth librarian, is bringing Culture Crunch to us. And the first one is Tuesday, March 17th, 1 p.m., sorry, and depart at 4 for school, movie, and all kinds of fun stuff down here. So this is for grades 7 through 12, so snacks, music, trivia, activities, and other things. That's on Tuesday. If you say, oh, I can't come on Tuesday, then you can come on Thursday from 1 to 4. And it's a different country and a different event, but kind of the same. again, from kids from, grade 7 to 12, okay? All right, now, National Library Week is coming, and we have author, Sarah Henning, the library hunter, coming on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Mark Tyler Nolman, he's talking about Batman and how it was written. And that would be Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're bringing, Dr. Henry, talking about the rules for culpability. And she'll bring some other books, you know, she always makes us play a little game, tells us about 5 or 6 other books. So she's a great, speaker, and we'll love to be here for her. And then, on that Saturday, April 11th, we have murder free, tickets are $30, and, the delivery is over the street temperature. So it's gonna be here in the library. Then, of course, I know somebody who's working in English, even the second language. We have their evening class on 6:30 and by teaching those. And then we have 4 different story times for the week: preschool, family night, baby and union toddlers, and all of those. And then right now we're doing play with purpose. I think she has 4 classes this time, but she'll do another time next in the fall. And remember, if you need a place for quiet where you can read, think, you can work, study, you can talk to a friend. Maybe use our hot shop. The only thing you can't do in our hot shop is free food. And you can't sell things like oils or Mary Kay, but you can do other things that you might sell. So, things that don't get installed. There you go. And then, remember, we have, a winner newsletter every quarter. And, you can sign up for that. Have a shirt, geez, what you can do, that's gonna be a part of it. Printed. And then also, if you want to learn about more books, buy and shelf, Katie worked on Shelf Indulgence. I call it a podcast, it's really a video podcast kind of thing. And they tell us about books, and bring guests in. And then if we get any snow and rain or bad weather, just always remember, find out whether we're open on Facebook, our online catalog, and our website. You can learn all kinds of other things, like signing kids up for things, you know, looking at our events on Facebook, all kinds of stuff. Remember, we have this little digital library. We have Libby, which is another digital library. And of course, we have 38,000 books upstairs that you can check out anytime. More items. Look back. Let me invite Andi Burnum, who's our author and guest, and she's also an artist, and she's going to read his book. And she knows about. We invite her to come and speak to us. Yeah. And once she comes, I will turn because it's out hot. Mine.
This is yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, stand right there. Is that right?
Oh, you can stand anywhere. Stand right.
Okay, but not on a speaker.
No.
Okay. Wow, that was exciting.
Okay.
Was better?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a next film.
Okay, we all hear about this? Okay. My name is Andi Burnum, and thank you so much for coming today. This is my book, Miss Molyneux Looks at Selfie or Two. And I really did not know what to talk about for this, so I just, oh, wow, that's. I did not know what to talk about for this, and so I suggested I just talk about the process of making my book. So that's what we're gonna do. About me, I am an artist, a fine art. I am a pretend illustrator. I say that because I still sometimes do, it's hard to think that I illustrative books. So I'm throwing it out there to the world that with illustrative books. I'm a dreamer of all the things. I have almost too many ideas for the amount of time I've been given. I'm currently working on surface design. And does anyone know what surface design is? That is designing fabrics and things like your shirt back there, your shirt, someone designed that pattern. And so that's what I'm working on, patterns to go into fabrics and things, wallpapers and wrapping paper, anything like that. It has a surface, the design, that's what I'm making. And I also have a new book I'm working on, it's right here. And we're talking about that a little bit. I have some, maybe too big of goals for it, we'll see. One of my favorite things is making something out of nothing. I think that's just pure magic. When you can start clearly with an idea and it ends up as a book, that it's so cool to see your ideas come to fruition. I love being surrounded by books. I don't always choose to read books because I would rather draw, but I like to sit and read books. And I love details. Most of my work is very detail oriented. I put those details in my books until I don't, and I just throw my hands up and say someone else take care of it. My goals for today, to explain my book making process to all of you. Is anyone here wanting to write a book or has wrote a book? Yeah? My goal is if you have questions, I will take years off your life to like figure this out. I will fast track you there. And also I want everyone to come out with at least one little tidbit to help encourage you, or push you towards your goals. So, some things I figured out along the way. So, we're gonna go from 0 to whatever this currently is. First, you need to know, you need to write about what you know. Like if I write this in Spanish, and I cannot do that because I have 0 Spanish background. But I grew up on a dairy farm, and we had cows. I could draw you a barnyard in 2 seconds flat. I just love cows. This is actually Molly. She's a real cow. This is 3rd grade Andi with the oversized glasses for my face. And this is a poor picture. This is the only picture we have of about circa 1990. And the fair they gave us like my parents like a little badge of support. And here I am. So we still have that somehow. Just so you know, writing what I know about, before I wrote this book, I had just got out of several months of really hard therapy. So just keep that in mind when you see some illustrations. And when you write about what you know, it's very comfortable. My new book, it's actually Miss Molly who has a major view. And it's a very long story how it came about, but it's a book of Luke. And it's the Christmas story is Molly is Mary's pet. And it's her perspective going through it, and the whole book rhymes. But it's been a challenge because I don't know the landscape. It's so much research. I don't understand the culture. And I really drag my heels a lot working on it because I just don't want to. Because it's really hard. So write what you know about. And I'd also like to preface, this is my emotional experience writing books. This emotional creativity chart. So this is where I like to be in the design, the idea world. Woo-hoo, like that's really exciting for me. And then we really go downhill quickly. And then this is the pit of despair is at the bottom. And it really needs to be like this long, you know, because this is not representational how long it actually takes to get to the pit of despair. I really like Barry's head and hands, that happens all the time. What was I thinking? Whose idea was this? It's always mine. And then there's a little bit of light. And then you get to hold your book and it's so exciting. And then I get to the point where someone else just take care of what I've made it and do something with it. I'm also at that stage right now. So I did it with my artwork, like go framing, I just give it the framework, I just take it, I don't even care what I really want. So keep this in mind when we go through, emotional fitness barriers, a big one of this. So part one, change does not happen in your comfort zone. And I can't tell you enough that no one's gonna sit on their couch and say, I'm gonna write a book, and because it's not comfortable, none of this experience is comfortable at all. I had wanted to change up some artwork, and so but I always had this children's idea in the back of my head, like the ones that incorporate my talents, but I thought Molly would be a great character for a book. I just did not know what that looked like at the time. And people would say, you should write a children's book. I was like, okay, how hard could it possibly be? Very hard. So I took this class downtown Denver, and it was a challenge for a lot of reasons. It's 30 to 40 minutes from my house with traffic. I have to parallel park on busy streets in the dark by myself. And I know absolutely nobody in class, right? Like this is just me. And because my friends did not want to go. And so I go up by myself. And sometimes you just have to do that. Just have to do the hard things. Side note, being ready is not really a feeling, it's a decision. And you just say, we're gonna do this. So I did a monotype class. This is a example of monotype from my instructor. And it's very abstract art. This is not the kind of art I would ever do for myself. And so basically you put things through this giant press here. And so it's supposed to make abstract art and be happy. And I wasn't happy. Okay, so what happened? Joe gave us a bunch of rules for monotype, and I wrote every single one of them. And he told me that in my face, and he said, you know, I don't just do your thing. Because for the fourth time, I could not handle abstract art anymore, and I decided to cut out cows out of plastic vellum down there, and I was really having a good time cutting out cows. And then I cut out a little tutu for a cow. And I thought, well, this is so fun. And around the same time, I had this friend who Instagram was kind of just coming out. And I thought, whoa, you are so obnoxious. You're gonna post all those little selfies on there? Like, and I was really upset. I don't know why it bothered me, but I did. And so I had this bacon in the back of my head. And I'm putting out cows, and I thought, guys, I kid you not, I can tell you exactly where it was on the interstate, driving home, and the book wrote itself. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, this is good. And I was like going through, and I got back to the house, and I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And you know, I thought this is the best thing I've ever seen. I was in the dog stage of the excitement on our roller coaster here. And you'll see, this is actually a book, an illustration from the book, and I made sure to represent Molly and her tutu. I thought I had to incorporate that somehow. So I had this rough draft, and I gave it to all my family members and friends. I said, you have to read this. Like, look what we have here. And they were so kind to let me down gently. Because it was bad. Like, I realized it did not rhyme at all. And I just wanted a rhyme book, right? So, part two, you have to put yourself out there. Oh, sorry, part do things that no one else would do to make your dreams happen. Now, the problem was, I had no idea what was going on, but I knew I could not rhyme. So, I had to take a rhyming class. And there were no writing classes in Denver really, so I took an online one. I got one, her name is Renee Latu, and she is phenomenal. She's a great teacher. She is very well known for rhyming and poems. The problem was, and the reason I have this picture here is because my friends and I had already decided that we were gonna have a condo at Winter Park for ski season. And the class was right in the middle of that. Now, the one decision I had was, would I take the class or not, because I was not skipping. And so I decided to do both. And I had to get up between 4 and 5 every morning on the weekends before we skied to do my running homework. And I was just exhausted all day, but I got my work done. And I learned how to ride. And it's now I can do things with Annie, that photos while Molly dance jigs. She trained for trapeze and she flew with the pigs. It finally worked. But it was not like this for a very, very long time. But I learned all this in the class, but I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do my homework. And then it was great, because I could think about that while I was skiing or on the lift, but it's always in the back of your mind. That was, but not everyone will do that, and sometimes you just have to. So part 3 is put yourself out there. And so I have this manuscript that's ish good, right? It rhymes now, but of course I had rhymes. And I thought, oh my word, how do I make a book? And how do I illustrate a book? And the moral of the story is you just have to show up and go for it. I joined SCIBI, which is Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And they were having a conference in Denver. And of course I knew nobody, but I just had decided to show up. And they had a portfolio competition, a portfolio review, and like all these classes to attend. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna sign up for everything. Like, why not? And this is free Molly with how her little arms, like a lot of she's upper state, but she used to have stick arms. So I realized within about, the conference has been 40 days, and I had no portfolio to show for the portfolio critique or review. So I decided that I was gonna draw every single day for 30 days and post it just so I had an accountability system. And I didn't know how I do. Like my artwork is so different than illustration work. And I did not know how to use my iPad. I mean, I draw on an iPad Pro and I didn't know what the program was like. Even though I signed up for all this stuff. So I made this portfolio and I got it free. And it was so embarrassing, but no one knew I was who I was. It was fine. But these are some of the illustrations I had entered into the competition and also for the critique portion of this. And you may know my critique person, she was not big back then, but her name was Kaz Willis. She wrote like Red, Itsy Bitsy Bad, I think, Mermaid Caterpillar or some of her books. But she had not wrote this at this time, it was just Kaz. And she looked at my portfolio and she gave me the equivalent of bless her heart, like you just did not even get close to nailing it. She looked at the llama and she was like, so what is this? And I said, what's a llama? And she's like, cute. And she said, well, there should be like a story that goes through your illustrations. It's not just an illustration. And I said, oh, I didn't know that. It was so embarrassing. Now I know. And so now she's like, can you draw a story in your picture? And I did have, I did have this one in there. I thought that was, it's pretty good. It's a penguin and there's a lot of things going on there. It was not good enough. She did not like any of it. And ironically, she ended up being my mentor for a mentor program I signed up for. So I had Kaz for 3 more months. Poor thing. For both of us, actually. And So, and actually, with our internship, we wrote, I wrote entirely different book. And I also have that reject letter list as well. The other thing I learned is that I needed friends to critique. So do you guys know, do you know what critique groups are? No? Do you ever look at anyone else's work and like say, I think this would be better here, or I like what you're doing? That's like a critique group. And so I didn't have any friends that knew how to do this. So I thought, that's it, I'm gonna start my own. And I did, I posted it on the Skippy website, and surely and slowly we made it. We have 5 people in our group. And, I mean, we have a range of people between someone who brought a picture book with 2,000 words in it, I'm not joking, which we got down to 500. We have my book, Patricia, she's Brazilian and she puts Portuguese in her books. And then we had a person who, she did books for blind people, and you can feel her books. And it was so cool to have everyone's different books there. And none of us really know what's going on, but when you're this close to something, it's really hard to see what's wrong with it. So our critique group was amazing. So I'm going to give you a little background of what this looks like on the illustration side. So by this time I have a whole manuscript. I'm going to pull out my current book. It looks so messy. This is my manuscript for my current book. I know you can't see it. It's less than 500 words. And what I've done is divvied out which words go on which page. So from an illustration standpoint, this is what we look at. Your story starts on page 4, which is so hard for me to remember. And by page 7, you need to have the problem established in your book. And then, oh no, things happen here, and it gets really, really bad. And your character goes through the emotional pit of despair from here. They're solving a problem, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And finally, you get resolved somewhere in there. You're down. So that's what we had to figure out. Let's see. I got this up again on that, but this is what it looks like from the illustration standpoint. And it's super duper messy, and it's okay to be messy. You can be as messy as you want to be. I have it printed out for here. This is my current book, and mine's only going to be 24 pages. Any questions to this point? Okay. So I have printed mine off because I'm very tactile. I like paper so much. And I will number them out, and then I see which words go on which page, just so I know. It's really rough and messy. But as illustrators, we're looking at, okay, is this a full page spread? Or do I have a spot illustration here, or a half page, or maybe there's a nothing page. This is a really sad portion of the book. And those are the things we kind of look at from like an airplane standpoint before we go into all the details. So did you guys know like portrait books like this are kind of like, you have a character, it's a portrait book. It's like a story, like my Molly story with the Christmas story, it's a landscape. That's kind of like a non-portrait character book. Books about like how to do things are usually square. I learned that in my class. Yep, those are things. So here we are from paper to digital. So what I like to do is I know that this is how big my book is going to be, and so I print off all the words, and this is what my spread. This is kind of what I'm thinking my spread might look like ish, because I want lots of pencil lines. I want all the eraser stuff all over me. I'm weird like that, but I really like to draw it out with pencil. And every single page, this is pages 16 and 17, every page has this. And the kitchen table, let me tell you, it's just covered, and no one's allowed to use it except for. And then I take a picture of it, and it goes into my iPad. And I really hate working digitally. Let me tell you, it's not the same as having your pencil with you, but this thing's not too bad. I have, I'll pull this up for you. This is my program. And so I can draw on this. There's all kinds of different colors. You can choose any color you want. You can download pens and pencils and oil markers and all kinds of stuff. And you work on layers. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. So on this page right here, I have what you're seeing is the paper. I have taped down the words where I want them on the page. I've taken a picture of it, and you can kind of see like right here, this is my pencil line behind it. And I blocked in, this is like the first layer of digital work here. And then, okay, let's see if I can make this work for you. All right, this is gonna be just 30 seconds of work. And so it's 4.5 hours of work in 30 seconds. I love working digitally because I can circle something and move it. And it's so lovely to be able to do that. There it is. Did you guys catch all that? You want to go again? Yeah, okay. Then her couch colors changed. I changed everything on the wall, like some of where the pictures go. It used to be yellow, but now it's blue. I very much love blue. And one of my detail things, I put ants doing little things in all my spreads. In case your parent has to read it 1,800 times, you can easily school it where the ants go. And if you remember, I talked to you about, I did therapy before this book. And so I actually took this book to my therapist at the very end and said, Jane, this one's for you. All right.
So are you saying writing a book project to therapy?
You know what, sometimes I feel like I should, yeah. Oh boy, it went again, I'm sorry. Okay, oh boy, that's too far. Okay, this is an example of the power of your critique group, like where you're talking about your friends helping you. Just want to show a couple of small changes we made. So I used to have chickens, and this is Andi Banani, and her name came from, I was walking the dogs one day, and this person on the street had their dog out, and it's this little tiny white dog, and she goes, Andi Banani, come back here. And I said, wow, I'm using that. That is a good name. So that's how Andi Banani came about. But she used to be a Polish crested chicken with like the crazy feathers on top of her head. And Andi used to look like that, and she used to have glasses. And my critique group was so kind, and they let me down so gently. They said, Angie, we can't tell what this is. This looks like a chicken. No one's gonna recognize this as a chicken, it's too complicated. So Andi turned into this chicken, and it's much better. I appreciate her. I appreciate her very much for that. Also, from the artistic standpoint, like this pig is competing hugely with Molly, right? Like you're kind of like, what am I supposed to focus on? All the shapes are the same sizes. So, and then also, you're reading words over here, and you're reading words here, and then you're reading from left to right, and then all of a sudden Molly's going this way, but you turn the page. It doesn't really work. So we changed everything. So now Molly is huge. This thing is small. And she's flying this way so that the book continues to move left to right. Any questions about this? This is kind of stuff as a designer and illustrator that we're like, looking at when we do this. And so part 4 is be true to yourself. At this point in time, I'm still in the pit of despair because this is all very hard and it's taking me, and I tell you guys, years to get to all of this stuff, to figure it all out. I had the manuscript and I had the book and I had decided to pitch it to all the agents. And you don't stop pitching to agents until you have at least 100 reject letters. It's a lot of reject, it's a lot of research. You have to like, figure out if they even want submissions first. And I'm kind of like a no-namer, so like I don't qualify for a lot of them. It's a lot of research. And you have, and it's a lot of time. And it's, as an artist, a lot of your life is rejection. So if you just get one, that's a 1%. That's all you need, but no one wanted rhyming and no one wanted morals. And no one wanted my book. And if the pit of despair had its own pit of despair, that's where you find me at this portion in time. I decided to self-publish. I just wanted to be kind of done with it. It was really heartbroken, but it ended up being just a really great thing for me to do for myself. So that's how we got to this point. And so I thought maybe we would want to read it together. Yeah? Okay. Miss Molly Moo loves a selfie or two. I look like the others, and we move just the same. I'm a plain average cow, but would love to have fame. I know just what to do, so they'll all know my name. All right, so here's Molly on a computer. She's buying something. And oh, she's assembling it's from Miss Molly Moo. She's assembling her camera and she's figured out her camera. She took selfies with all of the cats on the farm, attempting to capture her beauty and charm. The bulls she had treated with time and again, a photo of them, and she'd surely began. Routinely at dusk on the barn's creaking door, she hung up a snapshot or 2, 3, or 4. Crouching in shadows, awaiting some praise. Not a soul paid attention. Why, weren't they amazed? Molly bellowed, ascending a stool. I'm the best in the West, this estate's shining jewel. You need more convincing, that's easy to see. I'll show you just how awesome this milk cow can be. Oops, I got it. Annie Banana, come be my assistant. I require more photos. I want them this instant. Poor Annie Banana, she wasn't amused. But what there to do when your friend is confused? Annie snapped photos while Molly danced jigs. She trained for trapeze and she flew with the pigs. She belted out opera from high in the trees and knit fine sweaters while running from knees. She won every pie making contest in town and had great success as a rodeo clown. Miss Molly hung pictures at sunset each day, but the cows, goats, and horses just munched on their hay. The frazzled sad cow walked down next to the bird. She dared every trick in an attempt to be heard. I surfed down fast rapids while dueling big bears. Why anybody doesn't anybody care? My dearest Miss Molly, you need to be you. Where's the humble and merciful cow we once knew? Miss Molly stopped sobbing to think for a bit. You're perfectly right, my feathered sidekick. I wish for acceptance through doing great things. But me being me is the best I can bring. Later that evening, the farm went to bed. All except Molly, with plans in her head. The sick basket pickles woke up to a sight, a jigging Miss Molly to give them delight. The pigs she had filled with had gratitude when the sweet Holstein cow brought 6 pies to their pen. Poor Thelma the chicken had lost all her feathers. Miss Molly had noticed and knit her a sweater. At the end of the evening, they gathered around, enjoying a show from their rodeo clown. Miss Molly sighed, a performance well done. It's rewarding to do what I do it for fun. I'm a blessing to others with I and myself, whether I'm joking around or I'm lending some help. With a little holding feather, she gave me tight squeeze. Thank you, dear Andi, for sticking with me. And then for some fun, oh me, how could this be? I've lost an egg on every page. Because I love little fighters, like all of it. So that's it for me. Are there any questions? Anyone have any questions? Yes.
So I was asking Maya for everybody, when you were doing your art spread and it said self-ended at the top. But,
Oh boy, how do I look at this? Oh boy, there's a lot.
does that have to do with self-publishing or?
No, that's every book.
Oh, every.
So if I was illustrating for somebody else, that's exactly the spread up. You mean the really boring side with no color? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So self-ended book, does that just be one of the? Mean,
Oh, I don't think that means anything.
oh, it would be.
It's just, this is typical for anybody.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, oh, hi.
I think you're a great artist.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, no more questions after that, sorry. I do have books for sale. I do have some papers up front. If you have any, as a peer or someone who critique me, if you have any suggestions of how to make a PowerPoint better or a presentation better, I would love for you to write them down. So much. It doesn't even have to be nice. You don't have to sign your name. You just put that on there. Yes, Kathy.
I happen to have the privilege of being able to watch her beautiful artwork online as she does it sometimes and shares it. Is there any of people that are interested in seeing what kind of things you do? Do you have a website or anything that they can look at?
Oh, yes, I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. Even though I was gone earlier, I know, after my friend thing, but now I understand what she was doing. Yeah, it's just Andi Burnum or Andi Burnum Art, if you find me on there. And I do have business cards up here if you would like to grab one. Thank you so much for your attention and.
Thank you.